Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. We made it to Wednesday night, halfway through the week. We got this, guys. We got this. My job, the manager was either fired or quit. Like, I don't know, a couple days ago. It was sudden. I worked with her, and then I came in the next day, and she was just gone. And I don't know what happened. She was fired or quit. I don't know. They won't tell us anything. It's just, they came to a mutual decision or something like that. I don't remember. But the chef and the other manager has been trying to redo things, get a hold of the serving area, try to fix some wrongs. So it's been a bit of crazy this past week of my job with everything going on, all the pieces moving around. But here it's the same. No one was fired or quit today. So let's watch. We're going to finish this trial today. We're going to hear the other side. We're going to hear closing arguments, and then we're going to hear the jury verdict. So here we go.
If you can direct your answers to the jury. When being choked, where in the truck were you located? Passenger seat or more in the middle?
Passenger seat.
So, just a recap. She was driving with her boyfriend at the time, and I guess they got in an argument. He had her phone. She wanted her phone back. There were messages on there that I guess she didn't want him to see. So they started fighting. He was charged with domestic violence or aggravated assault or something like that. They have videos that we saw a little bit yesterday. It was very hard to see the videos in this courtroom, but he's saying she grabbed the wheel and turned them into oncoming traffic. She's saying he turned them into oncoming traffic. She grabbed the wheel to get them back to the lane they were supposed to be in. She's saying when she got out of the truck, he grabbed her purse and he ripped it. That's aggravated assault, I think. They have two different stories of what happened that night. So we don't know who did what yet.
Did Mr. Padilla have his seatbelt on?
No.
Did Anaya ask, and so I'm going to turn it, did you ask any officer to photograph your head or any injury to your head during the officer visit?
No, because there was no serious injury other than a bump on my head, so it wasn't visible to a camera.
Did you seek medical attention after this incident?
I did not, and you can hear me even in the phone call ask if I should go.
That's right. She claims that her head hit 3 windows. The back seat window, the side window, and the windshield, and it cracked the windshield. She said her head had cracked the windshield. He said she was freaking out. She was kicking his console and broke his whole console. Brecken, 9 months. Yay. Thank you, Brecken.
But due to my stepmother's answer, that's the reason I did it.
Did you receive any charges?
Maiko's right. Maiko. Greatest mod ever. He pulled off her eyelashes, apparently.
From this incident?
Just a subpoena.
When the vehicle stopped, were you in a neighborhood with houses?
Kind of. It was more along a fence, so kind of like a backyard area near a curb. So not in front of a house or to where a house could see us, pretty much.
Follow up?
No, Judge.
Defense?
Yes.
So, Anaya, you didn't receive charges in this case, but you do have pending charges in El Paso County. Is that correct?
Not pending charges. They're going to be dismissed after a complete community service.
They're going to be dismissed, but as of right now, you are actively being prosecuted by the El Paso County District Attorney's Office, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then as far as getting back in the car, so you're stating there's 2 points where you and Mateo stop, right?
Yeah, 2 points. So 2 points.
Right. So there's an incident where the car is stopped, and then an argument or whatever, and then there's another incident.
Yeah, so first it stopped whenever he's come pick me up, then we're driving, then it stopped in that neighborhood along the fence.
Okay.
Then it stopped where that grass area was by my dad's house.
Okay. And no one, while any of this was happening while you were stopped,
It could have been both. She definitely said he pulled off her eyelashes, and he probably pulled her hair too.
no one
She
gets
said.
out of their own car or stops to assist any of you.
That's correct.
Okay. And then as far as choking, Mateo did not choke you intentionally. It was a hit.
It was, the choke was more of, like, he did have his hands around my neck, I will say, but it was more of him pushing me back.
It was a push, not
Yes.
a grab.
Correct.
He
Just like pushing me against, that's where I hit the window. And then once I hit the window, that's whenever he let go.
Okay. So it was more of like a defensive maneuver,
I don't believe it, I don't know what it was actually. I'm not gonna,
but it was very brief.
brief, yes, correct.
Okay. It wasn't like he wrapped his hands around your throat and strangled you.
That's correct.
Okay. And then as far as the car ride, Mateo does, he tells you at multiple times to get out of his car, correct?
That's correct. I believe around 4 to 5 times,
He tells you how many times
like around 4 to 5 times to get out of his car.
to get out. Okay.
Mhm.
But ultimately, Mateo, you do get back into the car, right?
I'm correct, to receive my belongings.
And even after he had told you to get out, you go back in.
That's correct.
No further questions.
Very briefly, Your Honor.
Yes.
And I the charge that you mentioned, that she mentioned you had, that's
Charge
Asked about that she's charged.
overruled.
what is that charge?
It's a MIP, minor in possession,
For alcohol?
for marijuana.
Okay, because you're under 21.
That's correct.
No further questions, Judge.
Thank you for being here. You may step down.
Thank you. Do you want me to bring these papers, Your Honor?
You can just leave them there.
Okay.
People's next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The people next call Christian Levitt. May I get him from the hallway?
Yes.
This is an actual witness, I think. If he has a black and white shirt on,
Come on up towards me,
Yeah.
sir. You'll just walk past that podium
You
a
just
step
saw
or two and then raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of law that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Come on through and have a seat.
we're going to hear the police interviews soon.
Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state and spell your last name for the record, please?
My last name is Levitt, Leavitt.
And what was your first name?
Christian.
Okay. And where are you employed?
I'm in the United States Army.
And are you stationed here in Colorado Springs?
I'm stationed in Fort Carson.
Okay.
And if you guys
And how long have you lived here?
About two and a half years.
Okay. And did you live here in El Paso County, Colorado on September 22nd of 2025?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember that day?
Yes.
Okay. What stood out to you that day, or what happened?
I was driving home, going south on Mark Shuffle. I was just passing the Space Force base, Peterson. And there was a turnoff to get into Peterson, which is it's only a turn lane. And I was going straight. So I was going straight down that road. And there was a car coming through the turn lane and blew past everybody. And then he was trying to cut past me in the side of the road, but then he just ran out of road. And then he went up behind me and he was tailgating me really hard. And I remember that he was just like right on top of me the whole time. And then I would see the car swerve it would cross like the double yellow lines into the oncoming traffic, and then it would swerve back. And I was looking in my rearview mirror, and I could see a passenger sitting in the middle seat. I believe what I saw was the person grabbing the steering wheel to pull it back into the road, like from going in oncoming traffic back onto the road.
Objection narrative.
Sustained.
You can ask,
Okay.
you saw a person pulling the steering wheel back onto the correct side of the road? Is that
What I
you
saw
stated?
was two hands or two people holding the steering wheel.
Okay. And when you said earlier, a few seconds ago, that one person pulled it back into the street, was that the driver or the passenger? Were you able to tell?
The passenger.
Okay. And who else was in the car with you?
It was my spouse and two kids.
Okay. And does your car have a dash camera?
Yes, that was a front and rear dash cam.
And as far as you know, was that recording on that day?
It was.
Okay. And this other vehicle that you were describing, do you remember what type of vehicle it was?
It was a single cab Chevy Silverado, either late 90s or early 2000s. It had a decal on the back, and it was white.
Wait, okay. And Your Honor, permission to approach, and this will be with People's Exhibits 18 and 19, as well as 17 that's already admitted in
Okay.
evidence.
100% credible so far. So far.
Okay.
Showing defense counsel. Mr. Levitt, I'm showing you what's been pre-marked for identification as People's Exhibit 18. Do you recognize that exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And what is that exhibit?
So that was when it turned into a double lane. When we're getting closer to the light, it was the road closest to the base where it was the four-way light. And I stayed in the right lane. He moved to the left lane and he blew through the light.
And this is that white truck you were describing earlier.
That is correct.
And is this a fair and accurate depiction of the events that you witnessed on September 22nd of 2025?
It is.
And people moved. People.
He already dropped the big bomb. He saw that she was trying to get the car back. She's saying that that the one driving was the one swerving into traffic. He was mad at her, and he was swerving into traffic, and she was trying to get the car back into the lane. He's saying she was grabbing the wheel and she was turning them into traffic.
People's Exhibit 18 into evidence.
Objection. Oh, sorry, that's not my witness. No objection.
18's admitted.
And then also showing you People's Exhibit 19. What is People's Exhibit 19? Do you need me to keep playing it?
Nope. So this is when he cut through past Peterson, or whoever was driving cut through past Peterson. And they, where it was going to turn right, he was coming up behind me. The road was getting narrower and he couldn't get over onto the side, and he ended up behind me.
Okay. And is this a fair and accurate depiction of your dash camera of the events you witnessed on September 22nd of 2025?
Yes.
People also moved People's Exhibit 19 into evidence.
No objection.
19's admitted.
And permission to publish.
Yes.
And sir, when I'm pulling that up, were you able to make out the gender of either the passenger or driver?
Yeah, it was a male driver and a female passenger.
Okay.
All right.
Um,
I'm going to remove the courtroom and just try to get the judge's screen real big to see if we can see who grabbed the wheel and tried to who grabbed the wheel to turn into traffic or whatever we can see. I'm just going to try to make it a little bigger. I need more space. There we go. Bigger. All right. So we can't see the courtroom right now. Don't worry, I'll put it right back.
And do you know those people?
Not even a little bit.
Okay. And have you ever seen this white truck before, as far as you know?
No.
I'll play now People's Exhibit 17 that's previously been admitted into evidence. So, 1 second.
All right. Oh, we can.
Can you see that, sir?
No, we can't see who pulled the wheel. We can see the truck swerving.
Thank you, Judge.
That's how my mom drives every Friday night. We still can't see who's grabbing the wheel. It's better, but it's not good enough.
So earlier in People's Exhibit 17, Mr. Levitt, is that the swerving that you were describing a few seconds ago?
Yes,
Okay. And so this is from your rear dash camera, correct?
that is correct.
Okay. And you stated that at this point you were looking through your own rear view mirror.
I was.
And from your vantage point,
Get
were you able to
salty
see
too,
inside the
pizzas.
cab of that truck?
I can see movement.
Okay. Understood. Showing you People's Exhibit 18. What is in People's Exhibit 18?
So that's when he cut past me and he blew through the light.
Okay.
Snitches get stitches.
And then People's Exhibit 19.
That was when he was coming up behind me. He was in the turning lane and he cut past everybody and then tried to come up on the shoulder and ran out of road and then ended up behind me.
And these,
17
are you
and a
able to
half
see
minutes
the
ago.
date and timestamp at the bottom of these videos?
Yes.
And are those date and timestamps accurate as far as you're aware?
Yes.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, if she's, I'm trying to see what makes more logical sense. Okay. I didn't see the car jerk. All right. I didn't see. All right. If she was gonna, it did jerk. It jerked into traffic. If you're driving a car and you're gonna pull into traffic, you don't just jerk it. But if you're grabbing from the other side, you do jerk. So to me, and I don't know, I couldn't tell. To me, the car jerked into traffic and slow moved back. To me, that's her pushing the car into traffic, him slow moving it back. But again, I don't know. I have no idea.
So you posted these videos on like a neighborhood Facebook page, correct?
That is correct.
And you were contacted by Anaya's mother regarding these videos, correct?
Through Messenger, yes.
And she wanted you to send her these videos.
Yes.
And she had indicated she wanted these videos because her daughter was assaulted.
That is correct.
I want to talk a little bit about what you observed, okay? You observed a female grabbing at the steering wheel.
Yes.
And this might be obvious, but you were also driving.
That is correct.
And you were observing some of this through your rearview mirror.
Yes.
And you had children in your car
I did.
and your wife.
Yes.
And also, you cannot hear what's going on inside the white truck at this time, correct?
No.
Yeah. And you cannot make a determination if Miss Anaya Guerrera was grabbing the steering wheel and steering the truck into traffic.
No.
And you cannot make a determination if Mr. Padilla was swerving in an attempt to save them from going back into oncoming traffic.
I cannot know.
And in the video that was just showed, we can't see brake lights because you're ahead of him, right?
Yes.
But you can see when the truck swerves, the gap between the white truck and your vehicle widens, correct?
Yes.
The driver of the white truck could be braking at that point, correct?
I can assume that, yes.
Okay. And just to reemphasize what you just stated when speaking to the district attorney, what you saw was two hands on the steering wheel, correct?
Yes.
One moment. No further questions.
Redirect.
Very briefly, Your Honor. And I'm going to approach with what's been pre-marked as People's Exhibit 20 for identification from Defense Counsel. Mr. Levitt, what is People's Exhibit 20?
This is my post that I made in the Larson Ranch Facebook page.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the post you made? Or sorry, when did you make that post?
I made that on the day it happened, I believe September 22nd or something like that. I can't remember. It was like 8 months ago.
Yeah, shortly after this happened, you observed this.
Within an hour.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the Facebook post you made?
Yeah.
And the words on there, are those also your words from that day?
That is correct.
People move People's Exhibit 20 into evidence.
No objection.
Submitted.
And Mr. Levitt, can you read your what you stated on Facebook that day?
Yes. Watch out for a white single cab early 2000s Silverado with a rear window decal that says Aspen on it. He was illegally switching lanes, driving on the shoulder, tried to cut me off, tailgated me the whole way, and then ran a red light on Mark Shuffle. I had my wife and kids in the car. His girlfriend grabbed his steering wheel twice to stop him from driving into oncoming traffic. They looked like they were having a verbal/physical altercation.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions from the jury for this witness? Okay.
Your Honor, may the people approach the jury?
Yes. Can you clarify, did you see the woman in the middle seat of the vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Did he, meaning you, did you see any damage to the front window?
Damage to the front window, no.
Follow up?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing further.
Thank you for being here. You may step down. Can this witness be released from his subpoena?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Should we take a break?
Probably a good time.
You have one more witness?
We have one more witness.
Okay.
They are present, Your Honor.
All right. So members of the jury, let's go ahead and take a recess until 3 p.m. Oh. If you have a question, why don't you, unless it's like a bathroom question or is it was it a question for this witness? Why don't you write down, we'll wait. You write down your question and then we can get that question from you. Thank you for your question. When you start your deliberations, you'll be given the evidence and you'll be given a laptop. Okay. The question was whether the video or videos could be watched on a laptop rather than up on the big screen. And so the answer is you'll have a way to play the videos on the laptop. Okay. And let's change our start time to 3:05 if we could. So we'll start again at 3:05 again. Can't talk with each other about the case. Don't let anybody talk to you. Don't do research. We'll see you back in 15 minutes. All right. Please be seated. And were the people able to edit the jury instructions to take out the brackets and?
Partly, Judge, not fully yet. I was working on the defensive person. I have not included the defensive property that I believe defense is requesting. Would Your Honor like to talk about that now or wait till later?
No, we can wait till later if you want to work on that a little bit.
Okay.
Why don't I do Curtis now, but not get a decision? All right. So, Mr. Padilla, this is the one time during the trial where I speak with you directly to advise you of your rights. You have a right to testify. You also have a right to remain silent. If Mr. Padilla testifies, would you be impeaching his credibility with any convictions?
No, Your Honor, there are no prior felony convictions that the people are aware of.
Okay. Mr. Padilla, how old are you?
19.
How far have you gone in school?
Graduated.
How is your health today?
Good.
Are you or have you been under the influence of any alcohol or drugs in the last 24 hours?
No, sir.
Do you understand that you have a right not to testify?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that if you choose not to testify, I would instruct the jury they could not consider that choice as any kind of evidence?
Sir.
Do you understand that you have a right to testify?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that if you want to testify, nobody, including your attorneys, can prevent you from doing so?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you testify, then the district attorney would also be able to ask you questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
As well, the jury would also be able to ask you questions. And do you understand that this decision of whether or not to testify is, at the end of the day, it's yours and yours alone?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that even though your attorneys may advise you to do one thing, at the end of the day, it's totally up to you whether you follow that advice or not. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you fully understand this advisement?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about the choice that you're going to be asked to make later today?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
So I'll circle back around with you later. Does the defense have any other witnesses other than potentially Mr. Padilla?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So we'll get the officer, you'll rest, we'll deal with whatever halftime motion there might be, and we can wrap up Curtis. And then if you all want to just be talking about the jury instructions to try to get to an agreement, that would be great. All right.
Don't worry, I cut out the jury instructions. The officer's coming
At the
next,
time that people will call the sheriff's
and we're gonna watch an interview.
office, Fall Goss to the stand.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, please.
He's 19, and she's not old enough to drink. So they're both just kids. Hi, Stephen.
I'll swear you in right there. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of law that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Come on through.
Good afternoon. Can you please state your name for the record?
Deputy Brett Fagu, badge number 13164.
Alrighty, and how do you spell Fagu?
Frank Adam Lincoln, George Ocean, Union Sam Tom.
Thank you very much. How long have you been employed in your career?
12 years.
And can you tell me some of the duties and responsibilities that you have?
I am a patrol deputy, so my responsibility is enforcing Colorado laws and ordinances of El Paso County.
Okay. I just want to jump right to it. Were you on duty on September 22nd of 2025?
I don't remember if I was on duty on that day.
Okay. Is there anything that could refresh your memory?
I was on duty on the 23rd of September. I know that.
Okay.
Guitar Slingers, thank you so much. I appreciate
Let's talk
it.
about the 23rd then. Did you receive any calls for service or orders on the 23rd?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
Attempt to locate.
Okay. Can you explain to me and the jury what attempt to locate means?
That means that there was PC for an arrest. So the investigating deputy did not get a warrant signed yet, but he had probable cause for the arrest. So we, because it's a domestic violence situation, we'll put an attempt to locate out, which is almost like a warrant. You just don't have a judge's signature at that point, and it's enforceable in El Paso County.
what did that investigator ask you to do specifically?
To go to an address on Jim Kama, I think it was, to attempt to locate individual. I think his name was Mato, is how you say it, for a domestic violence charge.
Okay. So you go to that address. Do you come into contact with anybody on that day that you see in the courtroom here today?
Yes, sir. Ended up contacting the young gentleman right there with the black shirt.
Okay. And will the court please recognize that the witness has identified the defendant in the matter?
Okay.
Thank you. So you go to the gentleman's house. You've been asked to visit this location by the investigator. What do you do once you arrive on scene?
I'll talk to him and his mom. I advised them that there was a attempt to locate and probable cause for his arrest. I gave them the opportunity to talk and tell me what their side of the story was. And I told them that I would document what they had to say
Okay.
and I will forward it to the investigating deputy.
So why do you do that? Why do you ask for a statement from them?
To give them the opportunity to state what they want to say of their side of the story of what happened.
And as you spoke with him, well, did he choose to speak with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what did you ask him?
I asked him what happened on September 22nd between him and his girlfriend. Think how you say her name is Anaya. So I asked him what happened and if he wanted to give a statement of his side.
Okay. And did he give a statement?
Yes, sir.
And what did he tell you?
He stated that she was his girlfriend and that she moved out of the residence approximately 2 weeks prior to me showing up there. She was using a ride share service to go to work, so he was volunteered to pick her up and take her to work. So on September 22nd, he showed up at her work to pick her up. He stated that he had found out that she was talking to other guys, and she allowed him to look at her phone.
Okay. And what did he tell you after that?
He said that he went to open up a text message and she grabbed the phone from him.
Okay. What did Mateo tell you after that statement that the phone was grabbed?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
What did he tell you next?
That they argued a bit and then he ended up giving her a ride home in a white Chevy Silverado. And on the way home, they were still to her residence. They were still arguing, and that she attacked him and started hitting him.
Okay. Did he say anything after he said that the attack occurred?
He said that she grabbed the steering wheel and tried to force the vehicle off the road. And then she ended up grabbing her phone and she threw it into the windshield, causing the windshield to crack. She ended up getting out of the vehicle and throwing her phone, and then she picked up her phone and jumped in the bed of the truck.
Okay. So he's telling you that she did all this, jumps in the bed of the truck. What did he say happened next?
As far as I remember, I can't remember anything after that he basically took her home.
Okay. Did you take any photos while you were at that that visit?
Yes, sir. I took pictures of the vehicle, of a crack on the windshield on the passenger side and damage to the center console.
Okay. Did you take any photos of any people while you were there?
I took pictures of him. I believe it was later at the jail.
And so, Your Honor, at this time, the people as well as defense have stipulated to what's been marked for as the People's Exhibits 9 through
I want him to say, I guarantee.
15, and we're seeking to move them into evidence.
Okay, and that's correct. Okay, so 9 through 15 are admitted.
All righty. And Your Honor, the people are just asking for, well, defense has seen these, but a second. Freedom to move out the well to hand photos to the witness as well as to publish to the jury.
Okay.
Thank you. So, officer, I'm going to hand you some photos and just sort of ask you what you see in them. These have already been admitted as the People's Exhibits. Just looking at those first two photos, what are we looking at in people's 9 and 10?
There are pictures of Mateo's face.
Alrighty, and Your Honor, may the people publish those to the jury at this time.
Yes.
And as you had taken that statement, did Mateo tell you whether or not he was the driver of the vehicle?
From what I remember, he was. Yes, sir.
Okay. And we have a stack of photos that have been admitted. Why, looking at this next photo, what do you see in it?
It appears to be a picture of his right shoulder, and I believe he said that he had a bruise there.
Okay, so you were taking these photos because Mateo was telling you where injuries might be?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and take this one from you. And you had said on that one, right shoulder. So that would have been
I
the
believe-
side exposed to the rest of the cab of the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
And what are we looking at in the next photo?
Appears to be a picture of a scratch on his left chest.
So you said the left-hand side. So that would be the side against the driver door, not exposed?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. And so what do you see in the next photo here?
It appears to be
Him having scratches and bruises doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying he hit her or he didn't. I'm not saying that he started this or he didn't, because I have no idea who's at fault here and who started it. I do know that if someone starts something with me, they're walking away with scratches and bruises. They just are. Right? It's not like she just sat there. I don't know. I just can't. I don't know.
his left arm, and it looks like there's a small bruise on his bicep.
And so again, left arm, that's driver side door.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what are you seeing in this next photo here?
It appears to be his left shoulder, and if I remember correctly, he said he had a bruise on it.
He's driving. If she's hitting at him, blah, 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 like he said, that's his right shoulder. It's his left shoulder that are all these bruises and scratches on it. There, it's over here. Only way is if he's like this. Right? How is she going to reach it? How is she supposed to reach over here? So if he's just pushing her off, get off me, get off me, get off me. If she's hitting him, that's this shoulder. It's this shoulder that has all the bruises on it.
Okay. And can you just flip to the next photo for me? What are we seeing in that one?
It's his knee, and there's a small bruise above the kneecap. I'm not sure what leg that one is.
Okay. And is that the final photo, I believe? Or is there one more following that?
That's the final one, sir.
Alrighty. And Your Honor, may I collect those and publish to the jury?
Of course.
Thank you. And so as you spoke with Mateo, did he tell you that he had called officers at any time?
Not that I remember, no.
So you had told us that you were there because of an investigator, correct?
I was there because the investigating deputy asked me to go contact him.
But to your knowledge, there weren't any, requests for aid or calls from the residence itself.
Not that I know of.
And at this time, Your Honor, the state will pass the witness. I'm sorry, the people.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Deputy. Is it Falgu?
Falgoose.
Falgus. Deputy, I think it's been apparent you spoke to Mateo on September 22nd.
23rd.
23rd, thank you. And you were wearing body-worn camera on this
Yes,
day.
ma'am.
And this body-worn camera would have recorded conversations with Mateo.
Yes, ma'am.
And give me one moment. I am marking what's going to be proposed defense exhibit H. I'm showing the district attorney. May I approach?
Yes.
Officer, you spoke with my investigator outside, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And she played you this clip, correct?
She played part of it until I spoke. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is this a fair and accurate depiction of that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense would move to admit defense exhibit H.
Just clarification on the people's part. You said somebody played a clip?
That's correct. To authenticate
My
the,
apologies.
yeah.
No objection from the people, Your Honor.
H is admitted?
And may I publish, Judge?
Yes.
And I'm going to play the clip.
It's going smooth, and then just recently, like, things just started hitting the fan.
So
Well, then,
he left here, you left here yesterday to go pick her up from work, and it was like 4:30
That's his mom.
or something like that. He sits there, and then tell him after he's back.
so basically, I picked her up from work. Everything was going good. Or no, so I went the day before. So yesterday, I picked her up from work. I'm just going to get her from work. Well, I walk in, whatever. I'm all happy to see her and stuff like that, you know. Okay. And we were just talking about fixing our things and getting things straight with us. So that next, you know, I found out some other stuff, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna leave. It's not even worth my time. She could Uber. She could call her dad.
And she was talking to the guy.
Yeah, she was another guy. So I told her, you call her. Whatever you have to do, I'm not putting up with that. So then she's like, you're not going to leave? And I was like, you know what? I was kindness from my heart since she didn't have to pay for no Uber. I was like, okay, I'm going to wait here. Okay. And we can figure things out. Well, then she hands me her phone. So I start looking through the phone or whatever. And immediately she's like, went to go snatch it out of my hand. I'm going to go click on a message. Snatched it out of my hand. And I was like, why are you snatching your phone out of my hand? I was like, I thought you just had to read it. So then she just threw a whole big old fit, and after that, she basically just went psychotic. She started punching me, pushing me, like trying to grab the steering wheel, almost wrecked me to a semi yesterday, taking her to her house. And then I went to pull her on the side of the road, and I told her, I was like, just get out of my truck, please. Get out of my truck. Okay. She's sitting there yelling and screaming, cussing at me, punching me, hitting me, scratching me, pulling the steering wheel, and then she started kicking me in my kneecap when I'm driving the truck. So then she starts getting more mad, and then she started punching my windshield on the truck. Broke the center console of the truck, threw her phone out the windshield, started punching the windshield, and she just throwing a whole panic attack, throwing a fit about it. So then she got out the truck when I pulled over. I told her, get out the truck, please. She got out the truck for a second, and then instantly she just hopped in the back of the truck, in the bed of the truck. Okay.
All right, but they said before, he said that she was taking her phone and she broke the windshield with her phone hitting the windshield. Now he said, in this interview, he's saying she was punching the windshield. You saw her. She's not going to punch the windshield. She's not going to break it. She's not going to crack it if she punches it. She's a little thing, and that's going to hurt her way more than she's going to hurt it. I don't know.
After that, it was just like a whole other big thing. You know what I mean? And she's all trying to push me, punch me, scratch me, do all kinds of stuff. And I'm just,
I believe that.
Get off me, doing this to her. Oh, you're fucking hitting me, like just going off on me. You know what I'm saying? Me hitting you, there's a difference between hitting and getting you off of me. Yeah. A big difference between that.
And I think the video kind of speaks for itself, but just to reiterate, Mateo told you that they were arguing over something on her phone, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Something that she had seen. That Anaya, Miss Guerrera, started hitting him,
Yes, ma'am.
grabbed the steering wheel to steer it off the road.
Yes, ma'am.
Cussing at him,
In the video, it shows yes.
punching him,
Yes, ma'am.
scratching him,
Yes, ma'am.
kicking him in the kneecap.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank you for the tears.
Mr.
Monica.
Padilla
Thank
states
you.
that Miss Guerrera threw her cell phone in the windshield, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
She started punching the windshield as well,
Yes, ma'am.
broke the center console,
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Padilla told her to get out of the vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
And you spoke to the family for about 20 minutes, correct?
I'm not sure how long it was, but it was for a while.
Okay. And you
Was there any water in the back of the truck? Because they put those they put plastic down and they start filling the beds up with water now and then drive around and you have a swimming pool you can drive around. Maybe that was like that. So it makes perfect sense she hopped in the back.
Let Mateo tell his side of the story, as you stated.
Yes, ma'am.
And in conclusion of that conversation, you make a comment to Mateo stating that this sounds like self-defense, correct?
From what he stated, yes, ma'am.
You took photographs of Mateo's injuries, as stated.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have a few more here that were not admitted. And we have also stipulated to these as well, Judge.
Okay, and what are those identified as?
And may I approach?
Yes.
These all will be I, J, K,
IJK?
L, M, N, O,
I love dinner.
P.
No objection from the people.
May I approach?
Yes, I through P are admitted.
And in that first image, are those images, those are images of Mateo's hands, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you took photographs of his right hand, left hand, both inside and out, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Gross. He
And-
took the inside and outside of his hand.
Permission to publish, actually, Judge.
No, I don't want to see the inside of his hand.
And we can turn around
Oh, okay.
for me, please. And that is a photograph of Mateo's right hand, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And there are no injuries on that hand, correct?
None that looks fresh. No, ma'am.
Similarly, this is an inside of that right hand, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And no injuries on that hand.
No, ma'am.
This is Mateo's left hand, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And no injuries on that hand.
No, ma'am.
And this is a photograph of the center console that you took in the white Chevrolet, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to use my cursor, but do you see plastic broken off right here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And maybe even a piece of metal sticking out here.
Yes, ma'am.
And in this photograph, we can see the passenger windshield, correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to use my cursor again, but we can see it cracked right here.
Yes, ma'am.
And we can also see that it's lower to the dash, correct?
Yes, it's low to the dash.
Okay. I think those are all the photos for now.
Okay,
So
I
I
was
think
gonna
you
say
say-
that. I was gonna say that unless she hit 3/4 down, because I think this could be an old wives' tale. This could be completely false, but I was always taught a windshield and car windows 3/4 down is the weak spot. So if you want to break the window, if you're trapped inside and you want to bust out or whatever, or you lock your keys and you want to break in, don't break into a car that's not yours with this information. Because I don't even know if it's true. But I was always told, always hit 3/4 down. That's where it'll break the easiest. So maybe she did hit that with her hand, but still, just thinking of punching the window with my fist hurts. I'm not going to punch a window with my fist. What in the world is that going to accomplish? Even if I'm angry.
Stated as well that you were not the lead investigator on this case.
I was not, ma'am.
Okay. And you were just there to pick Mr. Padilla up on a locate, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You had not personally spoke to Anaya Guerrera.
No, ma'am.
You had no idea what Miss Guerrera had told other officers,
No, ma'am.
and you did no other further investigation other than the photographs that we just just saw.
The only thing I did was talk to Mateo, his mom, and took the photos. That's it.
Correct. Okay. Up to this point, this was the first time officers had spoken to Mr. Padilla, correct?
As far as I know, yes.
You were getting his side of the story.
Yes, ma'am.
Bobby figured it out.
And it wasn't shown in the clip, but if you recall, you let Mateo tell his side of the story. And then after he is done, you indicate to him that you need to arrest him, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So whether or not Mateo decided to tell you or remain silent, you are still going to be there to arrest him.
He was being arrested no matter what. Yes, ma'am.
And Mateo was cooperative throughout your whole interaction with him, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And generally, your role as deputies is to also gather exculpatory evidence, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what I mean for the jury, exculpatory evidence means evidence that tends to prove innocence, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And as an officer who investigates, you're trained to document injuries that you see, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you saw a visible injury, you would ask to take a photo of it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And in investigations, it is important to get both sides of the story, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I have no further questions.
Redirect.
Jury trials would go a lot quicker
the
if we
people,
only
Your
got
Honor.
one side.
Any
though.
questions from the jury? Looks like we
More
have a couple of
efficient. We should
questions.
think about that.
Your Honor, may the people approach the jury.
Yes. Did you have any personal interaction at all with Anaya in this case?
No, ma'am. No, sir.
Follow up?
The people, Your Honor.
Anything from defense for this witness?
Nothing further.
Thank you for being here. You may step down.
Thank you, sir.
And again, if I didn't ask your question, that's because there's been an objection, and please don't speculate as to why the law is the way it is, or what the answer might have been had I asked that question.
I'm speculating, Judge. I don't know what the question is, but I'm
Any
speculating.
other evidence from the people?
No, Your Honor, the people rest.
All right, members of the jury, the court's going to take a recess until 3:45, so just about 7 minutes. Okay, we'll take about a 7-minute recess. All those same admonitions apply, and we'll have you back ready to go at 3:45. All rise. And then why don't we leave the photographs here on the chairs, and you can kind of resume looking at those when you come back. Please be seated. And so, Mr. Padilla, now I'm circling back around to you to ask for your decision. Do you remember the advisement I gave to you about 45 minutes ago? Did you have any further questions about that advisement that I gave you? Did you need any more time to talk with your attorneys about the choice you're going to make? And have you made a decision? And what is your decision? All right, so you are choosing not to testify, is that right? And is this your own free and voluntary choice? I'll find that Mr. Padilla has fully understood my advisement and is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently choosing.
I bet at 19 he's just relieved he doesn't have to testify. He probably wants to on some level, but he's probably relieved. The lawyer said, just keep your mouth shut.
Not to testify. We can look at the jury instructions. Looks like I got emailed a packet at 3:20.
Yes, Your Honor, that was the latest updates I had to the instructions, including two of the defenses proposed.
This is Colorado. It would have been better to give him the information at 4:20.
Defense, or affirmative defenses.
Okay. And has the defense had a, well, And we'll do a halftime motion in a second. Actually, why don't we do the halftime motion now? Halftime motion.
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Hollis?
Okay,
The defense
Salty.
moves for
It's halftime, Salty. Now you can get your pizza.
judgment of acquittal under Colorado Rule of Criminal Procedure 29. The issue before the court is whether the relevant evidence, both direct and circumstantial, when viewed as a whole and in the light most favorable to the prosecution, is substantial and sufficient to support a conclusion by a reasonable mind that the defendant is guilty of the following charges: third-degree assault, harassment, criminal mischief.
Let me stop you just right there real quick. Can we take the brackets out of the elemental instructions for the affirmative defenses?
Yes, Judge, I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, Ms. Hollis,
Okay,
go
I
ahead.
cut out about 2 hours of jury instructions, and a large percent of that was him talking about brackets. Can you get the brackets out of here? Can you get the brackets out of here? Can we remove the brackets here? They left some brackets in.
You're fine. The following charges: criminal mischief, second degree, criminal tampering, assault in the third degree, and harassment, physical contact. In performing this function, the court is bound by well-established principles of law. The court must give the prosecution the benefit of every reasonable inference that may be fairly drawn from the evidence. Credibility determinations belong to the jury. The court may not act as a 13th juror by reweighing evidence. A mere modicum of evidence will not support a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. Verdicts in criminal cases may not rest on guesswork, speculation, or conjecture. Your Honor, even viewed in the light most favorable to the prosecution, the evidence in this case does not establish the essential elements. And I will first begin with criminal mischief. The elements of criminal mischief are that the defendant in the state of Colorado, at or about the date or place charged, knowingly damaged the real or personal property of one or more persons, including property owned by the defendant jointly, in the course of a single criminal episode. Your Honor, I would just like to first note on the fourth element, there has been no testimony elicited by any witness that any damage or any property, real or personal property, was damaged. In fact, I have a direct quote from Miss Anaya speaking to her phone, and this is regarding her phone. Quote, "No damages to the current phone. I still have it to this day." And I'm not sure if
Okay. So she's pounding on the windshield with this phone. She throws it somewhere. She gets it. She throws it out the window. Then she goes and she picks it up, and then she hops in the back of the truck. And there's no damage to this phone. If I lightly tap mine against the table, it shatters in 3 different places.
was a discussion, or if the criminal mischief was also referring to the possibility of it being the purse. However, there were no mention of any testimony that the purse, the Louis Vuitton bag, was damaged. In fact, Miss Anaya also stated that that Louis Vuitton bag was a gift from Mr. Padilla. For those reasons, Judge,
Yes, the 19-year-old bought that bag. No, he didn't. It was fake.
Most favorable to the prosecution on criminal mischief, they have not proved any damaged property. Moving on to second degree criminal tampering, the elements are that the defendant in the state of Colorado, with intent to cause injury, inconvenience, or annoyance to another person, tampered with the property of another. Judge, there has been no evidence that Miss Anaya, when testifying, that this was inconvenient, this annoyed her, and that the injury cause was not due to self-defense. For those reasons, they have not met their burden in second degree criminal tampering.
My bad.
Moving on to assault in the third degree, the elements are that the defendant in the state of Colorado, at or about the date or place charged, knowingly or recklessly caused bodily injury to another person, and that the defendant's conduct was not legally authorized by an affirmative defense. Judge, I do believe that there has been testimony regarding that there was injury caused to Miss Anaya Guerrera in this case. However, the prosecution has not met their burden, even in light most favorable, that this was not done in an event in self-defense. For those reasons, they have not met their burden in assault in the third degree. And lastly, harassment. The elements of that crime are that the defendant in the state of Colorado with intent to harass, annoy, alarm another person, struck, shoved, kick, or otherwise touched another person, subjected them to physical contact, that the defendant's conduct was not legally authorized by affirmative defense. And similarly, my argument is the same to assault in the third degree, that they have not met their burden at all in their affirmative defense of self-defense. And I have nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. What is the damaged property for the criminal mischief charge?
You can, sure.
Yes, Your Honor. So the people today would ask that you deny the defense's motion in this matter. Going towards tampering, as Your Honor has requested.
No, not tampering, criminal mischief.
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. Going towards the criminal mischief, there was indeed testimony that upon exiting the vehicle, that the victim had a crossbody Louis Vuitton bag. It was gifted, but that was still personal property of hers, and that it tore as the defendant reached and grabbed it as she was exiting.
It tore? Is that what the testimony was on?
Yes, Your Honor, that there was a strap on it essentially as it went across the body.
And that was it. That was the testimony for the criminal mischief.
That's correct. And that's what the people have always intended to be that charge, Your Honor. We believe the tampering goes towards the phone, not the criminal mischief.
Okay, defense response.
Judge, candidly, I don't remember any testimony. I was trying to pay close attention to any testimony regarding that the bag being torn. However, if that is what the district attorney's position is, there is absolutely no way that a reasonable jury could find this beyond a reasonable doubt, if that is what they say is the proposed testimony.
Well, do you dispute that there was that testimony that the witness testified and he tore and would you say the strap?
That the strap on it was torn after the defendant reached and grabbed it as she was exiting the vehicle?
I'm not making any representations to the court because I don't with 100% certainty remember or recall. I just do not recall. I remember their testimony being he grabbed my strap. I do not recall any testimony being that it torn.
Okay. So defense counsel has accurately cited the standard. Certainly as to the other three counts, the court finds that the people have met their burden. As to criminal mischief, it's a much closer call. One question, what happened to the purse? It was torn, is awful thin. No follow-up was done, but I'll find that the testimony that it was torn is sufficient to withstand a halftime motion. So the motion in its entirety is denied. Turning to the jury instructions, on defensive property, can we strike theft? And strike the brackets.
Yes, Judge Shaw, I was going to bring this up. People don't believe that there's a scintilla of evidence for defensive property. I don't have any objection to the defensive person instruction. And the bracketed language, so specifically where it says necessary to prevent what he reasonably believed to be an attempt by the other person to commit the offense of, and the bracketed language is either theft, criminal mischief, criminal tampering involving property. I'm not sure which one the defense is saying it applies here.
Okay, which one's the defense saying?
Criminal mischief. I think there was sufficient evidence to show that Mr. Padilla was trying to prevent damage to his car.
Any further argument?
No, Your Honor.
Court finds there is sufficient evidence to support the defensive property instruction as to just criminal mischief. So if we could eliminate theft and criminal tampering and take the brackets from around criminal mischief, that would be great.
And then I had another question, Your Honor.
Okay.
Specifically in the tampering elements, number 6, where it says his conduct did not constitute the offense of tampering with equipment associated with oil or gas operations or the crime of tampering with the utility meter. I left that in there because it was included in Colgi and I didn't see any guidance otherwise, but that doesn't seem to apply here unless I'm misunderstanding something.
Objection to take that out. That confuses me also.
Okay. All right. So we'll take out 6 and renumber the affirmative defense to 6. As Mr. Ostrom's making those changes, were there other edits from the defense? Any offered instructions from the defense?
Have a defense theory of action. I can.
If you could email that to opposing counsel and Ms. Hanson, that'd be great. So there was no objection to the
Yes.
defense theory?
Correct.
Okay.
No objection to that instruction.
We can print that out then. Please be seated. Members of the jury, thank you for your patience. Did the defense wish to present any evidence?
The defense rests.
All right, so members of the jury, that means the evidence portion of the case is now completed. What we've been doing here for the last 10 minutes is working on the jury instructions, and we probably need another 15 to finalize those instructions. So what we're going to do is I'll ask you to go back into the jury deliberation room, wait for about 15 minutes. We're going to finalize those instructions. I'm then going to read you the instructions, which are the law that you'll be applying tomorrow morning. I'll ask then that you come back tomorrow morning at 8:40. You'll hear the closing arguments, and then you'll start your deliberations right around 9:30. Okay, so all the same admonitions still apply. What we'll do is, and we'll hold on for a second, we'll let folks look at the pictures that have been published there. So we'll just wait and let you all make sure you all see the photographs that were just admitted. And then we'll take our recess. Will we be able to bring in the jury? Are we ready for the jury to come in, Mr. Ostrom? I know.
Yes, Your Honor. And I also just want to let the court know, one of the jurors did try to talk with me and co-counsel outside about where to go. She asked if she was supposed to be downstairs or up here. I told her up here.
Okay. Okay.
That was the whole conversation.
Okay.
Mistrial.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you so much for bearing with us these last 24 hours or so. Thank you for attentively listening to all of the evidence. Soon you're going to have all the photographs, videos, everything that's been entered today, and all of the testimony that you've heard. This is the people's final chance to make an argument for what happened in this case. Simply put, we are here because on September 22nd of 2025, Ms. Anaya Guerra was attacked. There's been no dispute that this occurred in El Paso County, Colorado. No dispute to the day. So really then we go to the charges themselves. On that day, she was picked up. She was almost left, but she did get in that vehicle. The defendant stayed to give her that ride. Took her phone though. He didn't like whatever he heard or saw. She asked 40 to 50 times to have her cell phone back. And that's your tampering right there, is taking that personal property. You're going to read that instruction that says an annoyance 40 to 50 times of request, not returning it. After that, she tries to reach for it. And this is when the defendant uses physical force against her. This is when she claims that her throat was grabbed. These photos that you have of it show marks both sides of the neck. She showed you on the stand a cuffed push to her throat. And the video from Officer Falgeist shows the defendant doing the exact same motion. He literally raises his hand and makes the same pushing gesture, corroborating exactly what she said.
I don't understand. I don't understand that at all. Okay, if she only has marks to the one side of her neck, that's the seatbelt while she's leaning over beating him. All right, I get that. If he's just pushing her back by her neck, get back. That is a mark right here. That's a mark right here. She has marks on both sides of her neck. So the only way she can get marks on both sides of her neck is if somebody grabs her neck like this and grabs it, it pushes in. You know what I mean? Not just pushing someone back. I don't get how she got marks on both sides of her neck. I don't understand.
As it proceeds, and we'll loop back around to the steering and the drive.
Bobby, can I push you back a couple times and see if you get marks on both sides of your neck? We need this. We need to do this scientifically.
Driving. Ultimately, they come to a stop at a point. He tries to remove her from the vehicle, uses force. You heard testimony, grabbing hair, grabbing the face. Earrings are ripped out.
Eyelash plucked right off.
That's how we're going to reach the assault and harassment in this matter, is the force used in those different instances. We talked early on about credibility, about how when people's testimony was consistent, we could find if they were telling the truth or not. If they had biases, we could know whether or not they're telling the truth. Here, these injuries corroborate everything that you heard on that stand as you look at those photos. Miss and I also told you that as she was being attacked, they started to drift into the oncoming traffic. She attempted to jerk the wheel back in order to save them from that.
I can be pretty confident in this one, Bobby. If I had the opportunity to throat punch you a couple of times, I would reach. I would be able to reach that.
That's why we called our second witness, Mr. Christopher. You'll receive this post where he says explicitly in it, his girlfriend grabbed his steering wheel twice to stop him from driving into oncoming traffic. And you can watch those videos for yourself. Notably, the car does not jerk into the oncoming traffic as if someone was trying to cause a collision. Jerks backwards out of the danger. The video, the post, her testimony,
That's not what I saw. I saw the
All-
opposite.
in the exact same consistent manner. Ultimately, as she is exiting, she tells you that she had her gifted Louis Vuitton bag on, the crossbody bag, and that as she tries to leave, it rips as she gets out. The criminal mischief. We think that as you review this evidence, you'll find that all of the elements are met. But today we have two very different stories. Everything I've said so far with Ms. Anaya's testimony is consistent. Now we go the defense's theory. You'll read this in instruction 18 that Ms. Guerra attacked, that she damaged the windshield, the center console, that she tried to grab the wheel and drive it into oncoming traffic. Simply put, this doesn't make sense. Let's start from the beginning. As the defendant talked with Officer Falgeist, he says that the phone was snatched back from his hands. He didn't keep the phone away from her. It was snatched back. So why did the fight ensue? For defense's theory to work, she got her phone
It was jerked into oncoming traffic. I just watched it again.
back. As they say, she takes her phone she's gotten back, she wants to say this right, throws it directly into the windshield and cracks it. I think there's questions if she have enough strength to do that. But she pitches it, and then she starts attacking the defendant. That's their claim. He's trying to drive the vehicle. She attacks. As you watch that video of the body-worn camera, he uses the exact phrase, hitting, punching, scratching. But y'all heard me walk through these photos. So his left side's going to be against the driver door. His right side, if he's trying to drive the vehicle, completely exposed to this hitting, punching, and scratching that they claim. Well, it's for your determination if you see the injuries in these photos. But the people would argue, as you look through these, there is nothing consistent with being scratched, punched, and struck freely from your side. Defense has put in the exhibits of the hands that would have been on that side, that right-hand side, freely exposed. No marks as if defending oneself, receiving scratches from an attack.
Objection, burden shifting.
Remember, members of the jury, the burden is on the people from beginning to end. The defense has no obligation to prove anything. With that, objection's overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then we come, that same instruction, to the theory that there was an attempt to grab the wheel and drive it in oncoming traffic. Well, the evidence shows the exact opposite, as I've said. The jerk is not into traffic, it's away. The post says that she was trying to save them from the hit, not cause it. And I think as you think about all of the evidence, what's going to become very interesting as you watch that video and as you heard testimony is this. After the incident, there is a text message from Sarah, the mother of the defendant. Please call me. Ms. Guerra does call. And that's where she gets that information. You'll hear the 911 call. They claim he has marks and injuries too. there is no evidence that she tried to kill them. That not once, but as you'll view the video with the multiple jerks, 3 times, Ms. Guerra tried to drive the car into oncoming traffic and kill both of them. As you watch the body-worn camera, you see Sarah sitting in the corner. Father, you see the defendant in the video speaking. We talked about credibility, their demeanors. This is one day after the fact. The first time they talked to police, they never called police. They never called for help. But now they tell you that Ms. Guerra was trying to at least cause serious injury by crashing oncoming, if not kill both parties. That theory makes no sense with what you've observed.
Objection, burden shifting.
Overruled.
All of the evidence consistently
Okay.
flows to Ms. Guerra. This theory that she was attacking without purpose, trying to end both of their lives without purpose, is not supported here today.
I feel like putting the cop on again because Brent is here.
Defense tried in their cross-examination to bring up other charges against Ms. Guerra. They tried to bring up social media posts from December, months later. All of this is to confuse you from what happened on September 22nd. And even if you were to look at it, not texting other people, just constantly wondering why you couldn't love me, just love me. This is somebody who was in love, somebody who had joint accounts, a joint car. Even months later, wish that things had been different and the relationship had worked. This is not somebody who was the attacker, somebody who wanted to kill both of them that day. And we'll make one final comment. Thing that just doesn't sit right at all. If that phone was thrown at the windshield to crack it, and then as told to the officer, she gets out of the vehicle and throws the phone away. How is it on that 911 call? She says, this is the same phone. I got it back. I'm calling you on it. She sat on the stand and told you, I still have that phone today. Wasn't broken. It was used to report everything that actually happened. For all those reasons, we ask that you consider the instructions, consider the charges that are leveled, and see that when we're talking about credibility in those two competing theories, it's not possible that everything defense alleges is what occurred.
Objection, burden shifting.
It's not burden shifting. Overruled.
But you will find that from what the officer recorded, from what our civilian witness recorded, from the 911 call, from these photos, that it does all consistently flow to her story. I would be remiss.
Oof. Okay, if I'm on the jury, I literally have no idea who pulled that car into oncoming traffic. I have no idea. So it's his burden to prove it.
And I'll mention one final thing. Considering there is a claim of self-defense here, what of the injuries of the defendant? You see marks. I see marks, I think. Left side of the body against the door. A small bruise against the arm. Left upper shoulder against the door side. And I think notably a bruise. It says that somehow she positioned while sitting in the cab to kick the console that was down and kick this knee. People contend that's a steering wheel mark. But our question then is, if the console was down, why did the civilian witness see her in the middle? Why did she testify, I was in the middle reaching for my phone? And how is she attacking him if the console's down and she's on the far side? You'll have it all.
Especially since she said she had marks on her neck because of her seatbelt. So she's sitting in a seatbelt. How is she kicking his knee and hitting the left side of his body? How does that happen?
And we ask that you come to a verdict of guilty on all counts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Short. Ms. Anstein?
You need any of the photo exhibits?
Sure. Thank you.
They're not in great order.
Oh,
but-
that's okay. Thanks. Is that okay?
I'll move it over here for you.
I hate when they start crying. When you're firing them, they start crying. Even though you both know this is never going to work out. She's very limber and stretchy and long.
As we told you in the beginning of this case, Mateo is not guilty. There is a difference between hitting someone and trying to get that person off of you. There is a difference between being angry and hitting someone and trying to get a person who is striking you, kicking you, scratching you, and grabbing your steering wheel and trying to get them off of you to save yourself, to save her, and to save your car and the people around you. There is a difference. And the people want you to believe that Mateo Padilla is the assailant here. That Mateo Padilla was intentionally swerving his car into traffic and hitting his girlfriend for no reason other than a cell phone. And that is not what the evidence supports. Now let's go through what we reviewed and learned in this case. Now we know on September 22nd in the late afternoon, Mateo picks Anaya up from work. And we know that during this period of time, the two are on a break. They are not living together at this time. There was some drama, as she describes in her 911 call. There is relationship drama. They are 18 and 19 years old. They are, they're not fully matured adults. They bicker and they fight over things, over jealousy, over Snapchat, over what have you. But we know that when he picked her up, there was relationship drama going on. We know at this point in time, Anaya testified that she did give Mateo her phone freely. That there was some discussion about her talking to another guy and she hands him the phone. We know that at some point in time that this incident occurs, and we know after this incident, Anaya gets home and she talks to her step-parent, and then she also talks to Mateo's mom. And we know that she testified to that and the evidence supports that. After she gets home, the first thing she does not do is call 911.
If I'm in a relationship, you can absolutely check my phone whenever you want. But if you see me talking to my best friends, calling you an asshole, and your feelings get hurt, that's on you.
She does not call 911 and ask for immediate assistance. She calls 911 after she is informed by Mateo's mom that Mateo is claiming that she struck him and hit him. She beat him to the punch. Before he could report this, before anything could happen, she beats him to the punch because she knows what she did was wrong. Now we know after that the deputy, who did not testify for you at trial, went to Anaya's home. But he went to Anaya's home and he documented injuries. And then we know that this deputy, without talking to Mateo, without getting his side of the story, decides to have him arrested. And who you did hear in this trial is the deputy who actually spoke with Mateo, the one who actually stated he believed Mateo had a self-defense claim. That's who you heard from. Do not hear from this deputy who spoke with Anaya. Now, in this case, again, Anaya knows that Mateo was injured, and she has tailored her testimony and her statements accordingly because she knows what she did. She knows that she struck Mateo, she kicked Mateo, and she is the cause for all of the chaos that happened that day.
also claiming that he had marks on him and that I was hitting him.
Is it really true that there is no evidence to support what Mateo is stating? His right knee is bruised. This is a tissue bruise, and that is exactly what he told police. He told police that she was kicking him and striking him. That is a significant offensive maneuver. Kicking someone while they are driving a car.
It is a significant defensive maneuver as well.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, you're driving a car with your right foot. That is a dangerous thing to do to someone who is driving a car. Now, you are going to get this instruction about the credibility of witnesses. This was already told to you in the prosecution's closing statement. And this is one of the most important functions you have as a jury, and that is weighing the credibility of witnesses. And when you are weighing their credibility, you need to consider their motive, their demeanor, any biases they might have for each side. Is Anaya the most credible person that has testified in this trial? And when you go back to the jury room, you will have the ability to make that determination. Now let's consider the credibility of Anaya. Remember, she posted this earlier this year. I have the opportunity to ruin your life. All I gotta do is answer that call. Is this the person whose word you should take about what happened? Someone who is vindictive and vengeful and has not gotten her mind over this relationship. Should we take her word about what happened? Her word, mind you, that has changed throughout the trial.
Again, if I was dating, you would never be able to use me saying something stupid on social media against me, ever, dumbass.
And throughout the pendency of this entire case, think about all the inconsistencies she has stated throughout this case. And then, should we take the word of someone who posts on the internet videos of them choking themselves and having panic attacks? Is this the person whose word we should take? Is what she described happening not a panic attack, as Mateo described to police? Is it not her in a panic and grabbing at him and striking him? Is it not consistent with what we're watching in this video? Again, I told you this. She has tailored her testimony and her statements accordingly because she knows what she did was wrong. She knows that she was the one striking Mateo, hitting Mateo, and moving the car into traffic. Now let's consider what she also told you and what she did not tell police. She told you all at trial that her head cracked into the windshield, that her head hit the windshield so hard that the windshield cracked. However, she didn't seek any medical care. She didn't have any documented bleeding or lacerations on her head. The police didn't talk about that with her. And that it was only after.
See, it makes more sense that her head cracked the windshield than her fist, because she was punching the windshield. It makes more sense that her fist did it if it was really low to the dash, because how would her head get down there? You know what I mean? If you're gonna, if he's pushing your head against the windshield and you hit the windshield with your head, you don't hit the bottom of the windshield with your head. But if her head hit the windshield, she has nothing. She said she had a bump, but no one saw it. She said she had a bump in her head, so it had to be like back under the hair somewhere. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that either her fist or her head cracked the windshield. It just, neither of them make sense.
She hears all these things from other people that she deduces. Oh, yeah, my head must have hit the windshield.
She could kick
That's
it.
not
That makes sense.
credible.
Hi, Kelly.
If your head hit the windshield, you would have known it when you were asked what happened. You don't just make that assessment after the fact. And again, consider what she says in the 911
That makes
call.
sense.
Does she mention all of this in the 911 call? She describes relationship drama and the grabbing of a phone. She does not describe this violent pushing into the windshield. And she also stated that she never told anyone about the windshield at first. She told police at first that her head hit the back window and the passenger, never the windshield.
And I didn't say it because I thought it was obvious, but how the hell did her head hit the back? How? Oh, wait, it's a truck. It's a truck. Never mind. I'm stupid.
And again, look, and is it even possible that her head could even go into this part of the windshield if she is just a passenger in the cab? This does not make sense. And consider this. She is stating that she is in the passenger seat the whole time. We heard testimony that she was in the middle seat, right here. And regardless if her seatbelt was on or off, she is obviously, during this event, trying to mess with Mateo and strike him and hit him. We know that the console was broken. We know that there are movements to kick Mateo's knees. Now let's talk about what she stated in November, which again are different than what she testified today. In November, she acknowledges that she wanted the charges dropped in November. And consider, she hasn't even talked to Mateo since September. There's no reason for her to do that other than she recognizes that her report to police and her report to you all is not credible. And in this conversation, she recognizes that Mateo did not intend to elbow her in the sternum. She also testified that to you at trial as well, that she does not believe that Mateo striking her like that was necessarily intentional. And we heard that she does use TikTok as a diary. And we heard from her that her stating, "I can't beat the toxic Latina allegations," that has nothing to do with Mateo. We heard a lot of things have nothing to do with Mateo, even though she has admitted to you that she has posted about Mateo since their relationship has ended. And consider that if she had said, knowing she had to play the victim to convince herself she didn't do anything wrong, the day or 2 days after we had court last week, in this case,
I believe parts of these were not admitted in.
Overruled, it's up to the jury to recall what was admitted into evidence.
she stated, if this had been posted by her after we had court last week, that has nothing to do with Mateo, even though she is the designated victim in this case. And consider that Anaya's testimony has wholly failed for why Mateo has injuries. Her testimony does not account for the bruising, the scratching, or any of the other redness on Mateo's body. None of her testimony acknowledges at all that there was some mutual struggle. Her testimony is that she was being violently pushed, but she does not acknowledge that there was any sort of resistance on Mateo's part. Her testimony describes her as if she's a rag doll in the seat, just sitting there quietly and compliantly as her boyfriend is just pushing her. There is no acknowledgement in her testimony about how Mateo could have been injured. And again, we do know that he was injured. He has all of this bruising. And these aren't just scratching. These are bruising. This is tissue. This is intentional
I've known a
acts
few
that are
Mateos.
on his body. Kneecap, scratches, bruises. Now let's talk about the swerving. So you heard from Christian Levitt, the man who was driving in front of this car. And he told you all that actually his focus was on trying to maintain his lane and maintain his car and the safety. He was in the car with other people. He could see that Anaya was in the middle seat next to the driver, and he could see her hands on the wheel. He did acknowledge to you all that he actually could not really tell what was going on in that car. His attention was on driving and maintaining. He could not indicate or tell what was really happening. Any prediction he had was just that, a prediction. He was not in the car. And consider that if Mateo, who was the driver in immediate possession and control of the wheel, if he really wanted to do this crazy swerving maneuvering, he was in immediate control of the wheel. He could have just swerved it more than what she was doing. He was trying to swerve the car back into his lane. That is supported by the video. Again, you're going to watch the video, you're going to have that in evidence. And as far as the choking, again, Anaya clarified to you all that she was not choked, that it was maneuver like this, that it was a cupping, that she was not strangled. And she actually described to you all that she actually couldn't really tell if it was a defensive maneuver or not. And as she also stated to you, she really does not believe it was an intentional act. Because, again, Mateo was trying to ward her off, fend her off of him as he is being attacked, as he's driving a truck. She also told you that her phone was dead. That this concerned her that her phone was dead. But her phone, was not dead. She called 911 from her phone. She also received text messages from Sarah on her phone. We know that's not true. And again, we know from the 911 call that she's describing this as relationship drama. She omits many of these details she was presenting to you all today. And then in her 911 call, she does not request medical attention. She describes this incident as not that urgent, or that's the effect it's giving to the 911 dispatcher. It's not an urgent incident. And she also recognizes that he started pushing her off of him. And we know, again, ladies and gentlemen, Anaya has a fixation on Mateo. Consider that this was posted 2 months after this. She has a fixation on Mateo. And we know from her that Mateo and her had lived together for several months, that his family was like a second family to her, that they took her in, that it hurt her a lot, that she didn't have this family anymore, that she did not have a great home life herself. And I wouldn't blame you if you had empathy for her having a difficult life, but that does not mean that Mateo committed a crime. That does not mean that he
I wonder what it would be like to have a difficult life.
assaulted her without justification, that he was not acting in self-defense. Now, again, all of what happened here is consistent with someone having a freak out panic attack and striking their boyfriend because they didn't want them to see what was on their phone. That's exactly what the evidence is consistent with. And consider Anaya's injuries. So as far as Anaya's injuries, you will have the photos of her face, and you will see that she has scratches on the right side. And one of her injuries is a bruise or a redness right here. And that is consistent with a seatbelt burn. And then she has some surface level scratching on the left side of her face.
You have 5 minutes.
That is consistent with someone pushing them off of her. Now, you are going to get these instructions. This is the elements of the charges that they are trying to have you convict Mr. Mateo of. And in each of these charges, not only do they have to prove every element here beyond a reasonable doubt, they also have to disprove that Mateo was not acting in self-defense in defense of his car. They have to disprove that to you beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to prove that Mateo was not in reasonable belief of unlawful force and that Mateo was not acting reasonably to prevent that unlawful force. And they cannot disprove that to you. They also have to prove to you, also in addition to self-defense, they have to disprove to you that Mateo was not acting in defense of his property. He certainly was. When Anaya was moving the steering wheel into oncoming traffic, he was certainly trying to prevent the destruction of his car, in addition to other people's cars, in addition to other people's lives. Now you're going to have a copy of Mateo's statement to police, and that supports exactly what I'm telling you. That he was warding off, scratching him, kicking him, attacking him.
Because everything was going.
And we see that he has these bruising, he has these scratches.
Because
Now, I want to talk to you again about her injuries. She has a redness, that is a burn I described to you, that is consistent with the seatbelt. We also have these surface level scratches right here. But she also told you a number of things that she has never told anyone before. Her eyelashes were torn off. She had really good glue, that's why they stayed on. Consider that she was wearing glasses that day. Consider also that she told you that he was pulling her by her hair. Consider that she never has said that before. consider the head injury she's describing to you. That again, she was not telling law enforcement that when she reported this. Again, consider that whatever was happening in this car was to prevent this panic attack and this just general physical attack on his life. Now, I also want to talk to you about what you heard from law enforcement or the law enforcement that was here. You did not hear from Deputy Mima, the one who talked with Anaya.
Mima. All right, it's almost your last chance to vote, because once she's done with her closing statements, then the jury goes and we're going to get the verdict. So vote if you think that Mateo is guilty, or yes or no.
You also heard from Deputy.
Because it doesn't matter if she's guilty or innocent. She's not on trial here. Is he guilty or is he not guilty of those 3 counts? Harassment, some criminal mischief, and something.
Boost, and he talked to you about his documentation of Mateo's injuries, and that, again, he was ordered to arrest Mateo. He was ordered to arrest him, but again, Mateo's side of the story was not even given to law enforcement at this point. Now let's talk about what you are missing. You are missing photos of any bag that is purportedly damaged. You are missing photos of any head injuries. You are missing photos of Anaya's phone, of Anaya's hands. You are missing a lot of evidence. And they want you to convict Mateo off of Anaya's testimony and the testimony of an officer who helps Mateo's case, of an officer who recognizes Mateo was acting in self-defense. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the burden of proof is on them. The burden of proof to prove to you with proof beyond a reasonable doubt, the highest legal standard in this country. And it is only reserved for criminal cases. In order to convict someone of a criminal charge, they need to prove to you with proof beyond a reasonable doubt, which is defined as a doubt, which is not a vague, speculative, or imaginary doubt, but such a doubt as would cause reasonable people to hesitate to act in matters of importance of themselves.
Yeah,
1 minute.
Where are we going to find reasonable people? Where?
This is the proof. In order to meet this burden, they don't have to show that he likely did all of this, that he probably did all this, more than likely probably did, that you are convinced with proof beyond all reasonable doubt that he did this.
No.
And with proof beyond all reasonable doubt that he was not acting to defend himself and his vehicle from Anaya. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you the only verdict that is supported by the evidence in this case.
Thank you.
And that is a verdict of not guilty on all counts.
If I'm ever dating one of you, please do not try to rip my eyelashes off, because they are not, in fact, glued on. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anstein. Mr. Ostrom, 8 minutes.
Thank you, Judge. Think about how this was an emotional situation,
Do
right?
better this time.
You heard Anaya talk about how she loved him. She was close with his family. Of course, this is going to be a hard situation afterwards, right? When we think about her TikToks months later, she's 19. She posts on TikTok, okay? That has nothing to do with, that was way after this case happened. That was after her 911 call. You can listen to her 911 call. And again, it'll be in evidence. You will have a clean laptop with access to a DVD player. You can play all the videos. You can play the 911 call. You can watch those again. That will go back there with you in the jury room along with these photos.
We can date, but we can only communicate through memes and GIFs and very short shorts. I bet we would have
So
the
listen to
best
that 911 call
relationship.
again and ask yourself, is that a young girl who's tailoring her testimony to try to get somebody in trouble, or is she just recovering from an emotional situation in her voice on that 911 call? And defense counsel tries to talk about, some of the things that she didn't talk about in the 911 call that she talks about in testimony yesterday, right? But think about it. That 911 call, I don't have it right in front of me, but I believe it's around 6 minutes long, right? 6 minutes. She's still crying from the incident. That is a lot different, a lot less detail than you will have when you're sitting up here testifying under oath for 2 hours, right? We even had a break for lunch in the middle of her testimony, right? That's a long time. Obviously, we're going to get into more details than you can get into on a 911 call for 6 minutes.
He's not doing better.
So this is obviously an emotional situation as I started. And a big reason why is because the defendant himself started it by keeping her phone and not giving it back to her. That's part of the control. He's holding that power
Or she's
over her.
cheating on him and she
right?
started it.
He's holding her phone. She can't call her dad. She can't call an Uber. Defense counsel brings up, they said a few minutes ago, they said, why, if Mateo assaulted her, why did she get back in the truck? She had no other option. Think about it. She wasn't close to her dad's house the first time they stopped.
She listed her options. Remember when she was interviewed, she listed her options. She was going to go to one of the houses around there, ask them if she can charge her phone for a few minutes so that she could call her dad. She was going to go to a nearby shop and ask them if she could charge her phone for a couple minutes. She already had options. She listed what her options were. Sir?
She was unfamiliar with that neighborhood. She didn't know where she was. Her phone was dead at that point. She couldn't call an Uber. She couldn't call her father if her phone was dead. And that's the whole reason she wanted her phone back when this whole thing started in the truck, right? She wanted to be able to call her dad if something went wrong. And when she is able to walk home.
That's not why she wanted her phone back, sir. Her phone obviously wasn't dead because the whole fight is about the phone. He is trying to look at her phone at a text message she sent to another guy. He's trying to open the text message and then she wants her phone back. Obviously the freaking phone is not dead.
She charges her phone at home and calls 911, right? It's not like she's making it up that it was dead.
Is that bacon? No, my eyesight's so bad. What does that say? GG easy?
And defense
Kelly,
counsel also
thank you
tries
so
to make
much.
a big deal of,
Yep.
there's no photos of this phone.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.
The officer didn't think to take a photo of the phone, and I didn't think to take a photo of her own phone because it wasn't damaged. Why would you take a photo of something that wasn't damaged?
Objection. That is burden shifting.
Overruled.
They also try to say that she somehow is not credible because she doesn't call 911 for 20 to 30 minutes, right? You heard that testimony. When she got home, she talked to her father, her stepmother, even called the defendant's own mom about the situation. And this is not a race to call 911. Mateo never called 911 either, just to be clear. But think about it this way. This is an emotional time, right? It's hard to call the police on someone you love. Also why, back in November of 2025, a few months
Is it
after
hard?
this
I
incident,
don't think so.
Anaya tells
do it like
the district attorney's office that she wants some charges dismissed. Understandable, right? Think about that from a perspective of an emotional relationship. Again, she's my ex-boyfriend. It's an emotional time, especially after an incident like this. And then finally, I want to talk about the self-defense claim and how that does not line up with the physical evidence you can see in this case, right? And we talked enough about the swerving on the video. I won't show that to you again.
He's right
I'm not
there.
saying
That's
he
true.
intentionally swerved to try to kill anyone. It's not what I'm saying at all. You can actually see from the video, it's pretty clear. It's drifting into the other lane and it jerks back into the lane. That is consistent with someone jerking it back in the lane, Anaya jerking it back in the lane, not Anaya jerking it into traffic as the defense own theory and jury instruction, I believe it's 18, is trying to tell you. So that, consider that physical evidence, that video, the testimony of Christian as well, and how that corresponds with Anaya's testimony and not with the defendant's statement. So, and I'll finish with this. Defense counsel said that the bruising on the defendant was intentional. Again, they don't have to prove anything.
I strongly believe, and I have no evidence to support this, that the bruises on both sides of her neck were caused by her. That she put those bruises there on purpose.
But all of this is evidence for you guys to consider as a totality of the case. They say that, and you can look at these for yourself. I know sometimes it's hard to see on the screen, but you can look at them clearly on the printed versions. They claim that these are the intentional bruises. Barely see anything. That's the left shoulder. But again, it's not my view that controls. It's you as the jury. I don't see much there on that left shoulder. I see a faint bruise. That's the left arm, right? A scratch on the left armpit. That consistent with her attacking him. That consistent with her trying to grab her phone back. They claim these are intentional bruises.
You have 1 minute?
Again, how is this from a kick? They don't have to prove what it was from, but they are saying this is from a kick. This is perfect spot from the steering wheel to hit right above the knee. Think about that, right? You guys have all driven a car.
Okay, hold on a second. When I'm driving, that doesn't make sense, guys. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. When I'm driving, my knee, my actual knee, not my thigh. They weren't saying his thigh was getting kicked. They're saying his knee was getting kicked. And remember, I am significantly shorter than he is, probably. My knee can hit right into my, where the radio is and everything. Like, there's not an open space to hit my knee. I know it's a truck. I understand that, but still, his knee is so far up. Oh, I don't know if I'm streaming right now. Everything just crashed. No, I'm not streaming right now. There we go. Am I back? I think I might be back. I need RAM, guys. I think I'm back. I'm going to end this. Okay. So I can see if she's kicking his thigh. Right? That makes sense. There's no way. There's no possible way she can kick his knee. She cannot kick his knee. And just to be sure, just to be certain, as soon as this stream is over, I'm going to go take a ride with my son and try to kick the heck out of his knee while grabbing the steering wheel and banging my head or phone or fist against the windshield and see if any of this is right. None of it is. All right, I got to press play. There's like 3.5 minutes left. We're about to find out. I don't know if I can close the pool because I just crashed and I have to try to figure out how to get it back into it. We might not be able to get to the pool, and I don't know where it's at. So if you guys read the pool yourself, because I can't.
That is a lot fresher of a bruise than this one, right? But then they try to say that the injuries on Anaya, those weren't intentional. Those were from the seatbelt or a hickey. Tell me if those look like they're from a seatbelt or again, if it's from a seatbelt, why does she have scratches on the other side of her neck? Side of her neck where the seatbelt wouldn't be. So I ask you guys to carefully consider all this physical evidence
That's what I'm
along
saying.
with the testimony of all the witnesses. And I'm confident when you guys do you guys will deliver the only just verdict in this case. Its verdict is guilty. Thank you very much.
Quit mumbling, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ostrom. Instruction 20, the clerk will now escort you to the jury room where you will select one of your members to be your foreperson. Good afternoon, members of the jury. My understanding is that you all have reached a unanimous verdict. It looks like number 6, you are our foreperson. If you could
I think it was like an hour, I think.
hand that packet to Ms. Hanson. Thank you. Jury verdict count 1, assault in the 3rd degree. We, the jury, find the defendant Mateo Padilla not guilty of count 1. Count 2, harassment. We, the jury, find the defendant Mateo Padilla not guilty. Count 2. Count 3.
Oh, that would be so funny if he gets guilty on count 3, ripping the purse. Because we heard nothing about it. No testimony. The count 3 is her purse getting ripped. Here we go.
2nd degree criminal tampering. We, the jury, find the defendant Mateo Padilla not guilty of count 3. Count 4, criminal mischief. We, the jury, find the defendant Mateo Padilla not guilty of count 4, criminal mischief. Would either side like the jury polled?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, now he just says, I'm going to go back and talk to the jurors, blah, 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 blah. You know how trials end. Not guilty. They didn't prove nothing. I don't even know what they proved. I'm like, I don't even lean towards one side or the other over who is guilty and innocent here. That's how much evidence was not presented. I can't even pick a side because I have no freaking idea. I saw the car swerve. I saw the pictures of the bruises. I think both sides are completely full of shit. I think the only thing I can come up with is both of these people started swinging at the exact same time. They were yelling at each other and then boom, they both started punching each other at the same time. And she called 911 first. Mutual combat, that's right. Oh gosh. Guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow morning in a couple hours actually with some crazy court cases. Not a trial. Alright. Take a nap. Eat something yummy. Pizza, maybe. I'll see you soon. Yeah, she started it. Bye guys. Thank you.
Well, I thought I'd write a happy song. I found a chat room where I belong. You don't know how much it means to me. With such a groove, I'm less lonely. Oh, Kathy's the creator. She's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her smile shines bright. She's got that grace. Come join the fun. It's a welcome and play. I can count on distraction from my pain, 'cause this creator takes you there and back again. Kathy is the heart here, always in stride. Her work is hard, but her joy she can't hide. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her style is classy, she's always top shelf. Don't take my word, come and see for yourself. Her cases are new with a twist or two. I really like them, a guaranteed good time. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her smile shines bright, she's got that grace, come join the fun. It's a